Hello and welcome to my compare of the battery grips for the D7100. First of all, here we have the Nikon battery grip, which are somewhere in the region of £200 worth, and here we have the Meike battery grip, that's M-E-I-K-E, which is somewhere in the region of £40. Both grips are very well built. I mean, obviously you would expect the Nikon one to be particularly well built. And both well, serve the function fairly well. Now, I've started off with this one, which I purchased from Amazon, and had great fun with it for quite a few weeks until I had a few problems with the connection in regards to setting the camera to auto ISO. I found it struggled with auto ISO. After researching, I then found out that there's a problem. Obviously, if you haven't got it screwed on tightly enough to the bottom of the camera, then it might lose connection with certain sort of functions, whereas this one locks firmly onto the bottom of the camera and has no problems whatsoever. But that doesn't mean to say you shouldn't get this one. What I'll do is we'll attach, first of all, this one, the Meike one, to the bottom of the camera. And do forgive me if I've mispronounced that. On this one we have a rather large wheel for locking it onto the camera, and it will say on the back of the camera here, lock. So you turn it in the direction of the arrow to lock it on. Now the only problem with this one is that locking it it's quite a tough job to actually get it to lock on. You're constantly mindful of the fact that the connection place is underneath here, but you keep going and eventually it's still not locked. I'm still going, and I think there and now it is locked. Now, as long as you can get it to that position, because you have to be quite strong, I think, to actually get it into that locking position, and I obviously failed doing that. I mean, I could quite happily go on using this one. Now I've realised my mistake with it, and I'll be fine. But now I've got the Nikon one, obviously I'm going to carry on with the Nikon one. All your controls are here, and if you've got your shutter button here, they're all fantastic if you want to use the camera in portrait mode. And of course on the side here we have the slider for the battery, so you've got a choice of batteries, whether to use AA batteries or the Nikon batteries such as this one. And also, as long as you've got it connected properly, it will register with the camera that it's got a battery grip on it. Right. So obviously taking the thing off is much easier using this particular wheel. Now that's one major difference between this one and the Nikon one. The Nikon one has what looks like a two-wheel system, because you'll notice on this one it's one rather large wheel, and on the Nikon one you've got a smaller wheel because it's got obviously a two-wheel system within that thing. In fact, you can see part of that goes into the camera there, but you can see it's got a smaller thing. That obviously for some reason gives it an easier lock onto the base of the camera. So we'll just lock that on there. You're turning both wheels, and already I'm finding that much easier to do, and you actually feel it lock at the end of that. That for me is much easier to get on, as you would expect. And well, that's just about it. If you've got the budget, go for the Nikon one. If you haven't, go for this one. They both do the job. I personally prefer the Nikon one. Thank you for tuning in, and if you want any more information about my videography services, it's www.apvservices.co.uk.